I greet you with Jesus' joy, for it is in him that I live, breathe, move, and have my very being. I am Barbara Arlene Fields Brehon. Welcome to Unboxed on Purpose, the podcast where we release limitations and live with intention. This month, we are joyfully celebrating 22 years of purpose, prayer, and powerful transformation through Favored by the Father Ministries. Over the years, God has entrusted me with the privilege of preaching, teaching, mentoring, and coaching so many dynamic individuals, men and women whose lives reflect the grace, growth, and calling this ministry was created to support. In 2024, our Memorable Moments series set a meaningful precedent. And now, as we approach year 23, we are taking time in August to reflect on the legacy we've built while also looking ahead with spiritual clarity and personal intention. Each episode this month will feature one of the incredible individuals I have walked alongside as a mentor, ministry partner, or coach. They pour into me, and I pour into them. They will be sharing stories of faith, transformation, and purpose that not only celebrate our past, but also cast vision for the future. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of this sacred celebration. Now let's get unboxed on purpose. You've been on this stage with me several times for Unboxed on Purpose. We flipped the script a couple of times, and here we are today just celebrating the ministry. So our focus today is a little bit different than what it had been, but we'll stay true to our topic for today. We are unboxed on purpose, and we're celebrating your legacy. We're celebrating who it is that you are in ministry today. So let's just start out by talking about how you first became connected to Favored by the Father Ministries.
It was funny because I started out being connected to Favored by the Father ministry at a prayer breakfast at Rock of Ages Church. And I'm very quiet and observant. And this lady sitting over at the table, not that far from me, it's the same way. And we were introduced to each other. I'm like, okay. And she probably was the same way. But later on, we kept going, and then we kept meeting up at the same location. And years later, here we are.
That is a very simplified way to say it, but we all know that I was that lady. And we were sizing each other up in a spiritual sense, not in any negative sense, but
Yeah.
asking that God question: is this something that you want me to do? And I will go ahead and say that I eventually got a call from Reverend Dr. Kimberly Holmes asking me if
Yeah.
I would coach you.
Yeah.
Tell us what that was all about, because
So,
these are first impressions that we're talking. So one of my questions was, what were your first impressions? And that'll help answer that.
so my first impression was to know Doc and to understand her. She's very down to earth and she's very direct, straight, and forward to the point. She do not hold back. So if you don't have thick skin and if you can't take what is being stated, don't approach her with it. If you want to be held accountable in life, then that accountability partner, that accountability mentor, that accountability person that you can just become vulnerable and free with, that's why I made that phone call because I was lacking that in my life. I had so many people around me, but when you got so many people around you, not everybody's on the same level that you're on.
Mhm.
And I'm growing deeper in Christ. And
Okay.
I'm not saying the people around me wasn't growing deeper in Christ, because I've learned that through life, because I'm growing deeper, they are growing deeper as well. And they may not acknowledge it, they may not state it, but I needed someone to hold me accountable. I needed someone that I could talk to and become vulnerable with. I needed someone that I can tell them any my weakness and not be ashamed. I could I can call Doc and says, "I'm not okay. I'm about to scream," and da, 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 da. And she's gonna say, "Okay, okay, okay, but you're not the problem. This is what I heard." So that's what I needed. And that's what that mentorship means to me. It means a lot more than what most people would know. And officially today, the world is actually seeing, Facebook saw it,
Mm.
but the podcast Unboxed on Purpose is seeing me officially with my title of what I've been working on for the past 2 year, 10 months. It
More
was
than that.
done. It was completed in a year and 10 months.
A year and 10 months.
Yeah, but it was officially to be completed in 2 years. The
Yeah.
minimum requirement was 2 years, but I pushed through, and she wouldn't let me give up, and she wouldn't let me quit, and she wouldn't let me take a break. And it was like, I want to take a break. And she's like, no, you're not going to take a break. I failed this class. No, you did not fail. You just have to repeat it. That's what that mentorship means to me. I'm officially can say that I didn't have the confidence to walk in the doctoral role. But with her guidance, I was able to complete it, and complete it with honors, and
Yes.
can walk with my head held high. I can set boundaries and be unapologetic. And now it doesn't bother me when I set those boundaries. And if people don't like those boundaries, bye.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It is okay. And
Yeah.
so we're talking about God's favor. This is Favor by the Father Ministries anniversary celebration. And
Hmm.
what better way than to celebrate your accomplishments? So we're talking about walking in God's favor, abiding in the Lord, because that's the only way that
Hmm.
we can be attuned to what
Yeah.
God says and what He wants. So tell us a little bit about how you stay attuned to God and His favor daily.
How I stay attuned is I've set boundaries, set priorities. If you don't set priorities in life, and that number one priority is got to be God, you got to be able to go to Him and say, who do you need me to listen to today? What is it that you want me to know today? When do you want me to move? How do you want me to move? Where do you want me to move? Every step is ordered, whether you want to say, go right or you go left. If you go opposite of what he's already directed you in that first part of your day will be off. And it's a choice, and it has consequences behind it, because he's already told you that morning when you seeked him first. He said, seek ye first the kingdom of God. So if I'm going to seek him and I'm going to ask him these questions, I got to be willing to wait for the answer.
Say that again. Willing to wait for the answer.
Yeah. Because sometimes if you're going to ask God for something and not be willing to wait, then you are already opening yourself up for a consequence of failure. You already open up yourself for downfall, destruction, pride before destruction.
This is powerful stuff right here, because you are actively unfolding who it is that you are in the Lord. And I believe that this legacy, that is a living legacy that you have in you, is going to resonate in the hearts of some other folks that are listening. So, can you tell us and share a specific moment or turning point where our mentoring relationship shaped your path?
Whew.
I know there are more than one, but what came off the top of your head?
Hazard lights.
Uh oh. Go in whatever direction the Lord leads you.
There are so many that I can't. I mean, there's so many, but I want to give the people a snippet of hazard lights.
Okay.
Everyone know what hazard lights are. Well, one day I was driving down the road and I couldn't really see good. But I'm on the phone talking with Doc Coach and I was like, I can't see really good. And she started praying and she said, God, be her eyes, be her protection, get her down the road and stuff like that. And it started to get darker and darker. And I ended up approaching the accident scene and there were hazard lights there. But I'm like, okay, hazard lights. That was hazard light number one. But then as I'm approaching, I'm constantly going down the road. It's getting darker and darker and I'm not being able to see. And the weather conditions wasn't good at that time. And then it changed. And so it's like, okay, okay, okay. But then I got to another destination and it was like I was in a rush mode. So that's another hazard caution that's going on. I'm rushing, 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 rushing. Mind you, she had already just prayed for me. And then I'm traveling down the road and it comes completely dark and I can't see and I have to turn on my hazard lights. And my hazard lights shine so bright just to get home. But I had to be obedient to turn on those hazard lights after listening to the voice of God. He had gave me so many signs prior to that. And I was paying attention to those signs and I was obedient to actually turn on those hazard lights to get home safely. That was a turning point that I will never forget. And I can't give you the full details of it because if I give you the full details, it'll be too much for a person to handle.
Because I know the inside of that story. I want you to get to one little piece of it where I showed up spiritually speaking somewhere. It was dark and you recognized me as a guide.
The cowboy hat.
I wanted you to talk about that.
Okay.
That part
So
of the hazard light story, not the whole details of it.
so I am driving down
This
the
is
road
crazy, y'all. This is crazy, y'all. Listen to this.
and I see this shadow. And this shadow figure is of something with a cowboy hat on it. And it's guiding me down the road. It's like it's riding on a horse, but you don't see the visibility of this horse. All you see is this figure, human shaped figure with a cowboy hat. Mind you, everyone, everybody's talking about boots on the ground wearing their cowboy hats and the boots and stuff. Well, let's be clear. Doc was doing this way before y'all even started boots on the ground. The cowboy hat, when I saw the cowboy hat, I said, "Oh, Doc has got me. This is Doc. She's got me." But this more of the story is she had prayed for me. He knew that I was going to pay attention to that cowboy hat and in the darkness, mind you, it's completely dark. I'm watching this shadow that has a cowboy hat and it's guiding me down the road every turn. And I'm watching this and it's got me all the way to a certain point. And when I pull over, I turn on my hazard lights. The cowboy hat, God showed up through the cowboy. He knew I listened to Doc. He was like, "Okay, Kim, if you don't want to listen to me, let me give you a figure that I know you're gonna pay attention to."
Praise the Lord for the figure, because I wasn't there and
Mm-mm,
I wasn't really on the phone either that time,
mm-mm.
but it was another opportunity to express our inner connection. And so let's continue to talk about guidance. We know what guidance is. I don't want to say too much. Tell us another lesson or value that continues to guide you today.
Whew. Authenticity,
Uh oh.
vulnerability. In order to be your most authentic self, You really have to look in the mirror and understand that you're not perfect
Mhm.
and that you have flaws. But if I want my life to flow like a river,
Oh,
then I need to have everything around me flowing together. Because if it don't flow together, that river is going to be rocky. But if it flows together, God is the center of it and the waves is easy to ride. That's authenticity. Because if I'm not able to be my authentic self around everyone, then there's no need for my presence to be there. If I can't be authentic in my marriage, then why am I married? If I can't be authentic at my job, why am I there? If I can't be the authentic me of being happy, jolly, serving God, worshiping God, being in spirit and truth, knowing that, hey, His word is my lamp. It's a lamp, is my guide, is everything that I need in life. And I know that all He promised me, it will be fulfilled. But He's saying, Kim, I need you to be authentic. I need you to show Him that it's okay to laugh.
yeah.
It's okay to have fun. It's okay to go out and have dinner. It is okay to go to the mud bog. It is okay to go to a bowling. It is okay to shoot pool. It's okay to ride the four wheeler if you want to ride it. It is okay to have fun. But believe in me, because I will never leave you or forsake you. I will go before you, making your crooked pathway straight. But let me tell you, I need you to confront your past, your future, and your present. Because I want you to leave that water jar right there by the well. That's the
Oh,
authentic me.
you have tapped into so many streams of flowing water.
Hmm.
So, as this legacy of yours is carrying you forward throughout all of your life, all of the different segments or aspects of your life, you are a wife, you are a mother, you have a full time job. In addition to what you do with Faith Battle Father Ministries, you work at various things. I won't go more than that because I
Hmm.
want you to say the rest of this in terms of uh, your your work in ministry with ministry and in the community.
Wow.
Ah, that's loaded because I know what you do. I don't know it all.
Wow. So right now I'm on a sabbatical from church services. Well, let me make a correction. I need to correct that. I am on a sabbatical from being the associate pastor at Zion Baptist Church. And it is an opportunity to work on me because I feel that I need to be worked on. God has directly told me what to do. He said, I need you to take some time away so that I can show you and reveal things to you that I need you to be able to go on and continue to assist other pastors, because this is what you have been doing all along. You have been assisting other pastors, you have been assisting other ministers, but you have been feeding them. They have been feeding you, but I need you to step away to really get into my presence so that I can tell you who needs feeding and they can feed you, and you can actually sit there and not even have to do anything other than be a listening ear.
Wonderful. Let's talk about the community.
Ooh, the community. The community event, the harvest. The Nourishing Harvest, this spring nourishing, was an excellent opportunity to feed the need of the people. I got to learn so much. I got to meet so many people. I thought we had the group as a whole fed more than over 50 people in less than 2 days. And those 50 people added additional people. So we're still hearing, still to this day from April, how much it has been impacted, and it has enriched two churches, more than two churches, I can
Yes.
say at least five or six churches
Yes.
are now officially we are working together. And it's like, hold up. When are we going to do the next one, Kim? When are we going to do the next one? And I'm like, give me some time. Let me breathe. But I want to shout out to Wayland Baptist Church. They are pushing me to Kim. Let's get this done. Let's make this happen on a quarterly basis. They are so excited about getting it done, and and I'm not giving credit because it's my spiritual brother's church, but I'm giving credit because they saw the need and
Yes.
they're willing to chip in the same exact way all over again. We just got to set the dates, the locations, the time frame. Um, I thought we were going to be working, me and my husband, I thought we were going to be working in the garden this year with the vegetables. Well, things has turned where we won't be doing that. We won't be working in the garden with the vegetables, but is something in the works for that by the time the summer ends, because you know me, Doc, I got to do something for the community. So I'm waiting on that. But most importantly, what I'm excited about is this second annual retreat in November.
We're going to talk about that in a second. Right here, we're talking about this community thing that you began, as you said, back in April,
Yeah.
and it has grown and blossomed and is flourishing.
Hmm.
But it really began before April, because
Yes.
you and your husband have had a ministry where you feed families in the community, and most people don't have a clue that you do it, that you have been doing it. It didn't really just begin in
No.
April. I'll
No.
just let you say one or two sentences and I'll let that go at that. But I didn't want that to go by, because we're
Mhm.
celebrating who it is that you are and what it is that you're doing for the day. So, one
Yeah.
or two things about DK Farming Ministries and what that does.
We're not just farmers, but we are producers. We plant the seed. We plow and fertilize the garden, but we go out and we fulfill the needs. We see where things is needed and we walk it out. If it's food that a family needs, we provide it. If it's just a listening ear, we provide it. But most importantly, you're not only going to get natural food, but you get spiritual food, because everyone knows, it seems like, when we there's a request and we don't do it publicly where it's a, oh, they do this and they do that. No, we allow God to lead us.
Mhm.
And when God shows us a need, we go and we purchase and we do whatever we have to do. And the person, individual, may not want to talk about God. But by the time they finish get with this encounter, they're going to talk about God. So they get natural food and spiritual food all at the same time.
I've seen it happening. I've seen it happening. And so, we're talking about growth and transformation. Your life has spiritually, emotionally, vocationally changed since becoming a part of this ministry. I'm going to leave it right there. I've opened a door wide open right here. It's wide open. Spiritual, emotional, vocational. Talk about some of the things that your life has, how you've changed since becoming a part of this ministry. Go in whatever direction you want.
I stopped being, the number one thing is I stopped being a people pleaser.
Mm,
When you're a people pleaser, you weigh yourself down and you drain yourself. And you're only causing yourself burnout. And you value the opinion of others versus the opinion of God, and you can't see yourself like the way that God sees you. If I had to describe myself in growth overall, emotional, physically, vocational, it's growth. And it's being the growth of stop being a people pleaser, because people pleasing drains you, and it's okay to say no. It is okay to not value the opinions of others. The only opinion I value more than anything is God, because in His Word, He's going to show me what He feels about me. But He's also going to He will give me accountability people to speak into my life that I need to listen to, that can correct me, that can edify me, that can encourage me, and I can feel that sharp two edged sword of God saying, I'm going to crack the whip on you because you was not listening. I'm going to correct you where you need to be corrected so you can learn from your mistakes.
Mhm.
And then it's like a full circle moment. It's not allowing that extra noise to come into your life. It's not allowing everybody in your circle. It's not going around saying, oh, I got this and I got that. It's not when you go out and buy a brand new vehicle, you have to drive it off and show it to all your friends. No, you let them find out for themselves. It's not about going on trips, and if I'm going somewhere, I got to be taking selfies of me doing this and that. No, let them find out for themselves. I don't need to paint that picture that my life is perfect, because it's far from perfect. I'm a work in progress.
We are all works in progress. We are all works in a process.
Yes.
And we all have boxes that either we put ourselves in or that we allowed someone to keep the lid closed on.
Hmm.
And you are unboxed on purpose with a purpose.
Yes.
And so, what limitation, other than being a people pleaser, have you definitely unboxed in your journey, specifically with this ministry?
I don't
Mhm.
know, Doc. Hmm.
Any limitation?
I don't have any limitations with this ministry, but I have limitations in life in general now.
Okay.
I've set boundaries
Ah, that's the answer to the question. Not particularly with this ministry, but we're
hmm
talking about in life
in life.
because of some of our whatever's together.
Hmm.
There's been a change, a shift for
Yeah.
you, and you've learned to set boundaries.
Yeah.
Talk to us a couple of seconds about that.
Ooh, setting boundaries is the best thing since like sliced bread. Or sitting at the table and eating some steamed crabs. You know how you get those crabs and they so good, and then all of a sudden somebody call you on the phone. You like, I want to answer that phone, and the whole time because I set that boundary, I'm not even dare picking up that phone. I'm staying in the presence. I'm enjoying that steamed crab. That's a boundary. Before I'm eating my crabs, that phone rang. I was gonna stop doing what I was doing. I was gonna answer that phone. Now don't do that. I the setting boundaries, it is so good. It's like when those texts come in and I'm being authentic, I'm being unapologetic, I'm being unboxed for on purpose because people need to see this and know this. People are so tied to their cell phones
Uh-huh.
that they're missing the moments, and they're missing their memories, and they're present with the T, but they're not in the presence with the CE. There's a difference. That means you're not seeking quality, you're seeking quantity.
As you talk about that cell phone, I had to think about yesterday because
Yeah.
audience, I put myself on cell phone timeout, which is something that Kim and I talk about. I put myself on cell phone timeout for a very specific reason and accomplish what I set out to do. But in so doing, it caused some distress for some folks that were trying to reach me, someone on camera with me right now included. But, sometimes that happens. And you have to, again, set those boundaries and set the priorities. Is there anything you want to weigh in on that since I called you out on it?
Whew, it is so refreshing. And I stress it to people, learn to set it, because if we really think about it, technology has influenced a lot of our decisions. We can actually read the Bible with our cell phones, which is I love it because I can listen to it. I can put my headphones in and just listen to it if I want to listen to it. Cell phone has the good features, but we have to stop and put some time, schedule some cell phone time out. It is so beneficial in your life and it makes you more productive. If you want to know how I can actually tell you, I completed a doctoral degree in the short amount of time that I can imagine, not the 2 years, even repeating a course,
Even repeating.
even repeating a course, working a full time job, full time ministry, full time wife, full time mother, full time social pastor, full time ministry, full time life.
That makes you tired just hearing her say it, doesn't it?
Being available to everyone. But I mapped out cell phone timeout. I programmed myself cell phone timeout. Each stage in my life had a certain boundary. Each stage have, okay, I am at this stage, so I need to focus on this stage. I am at this stage in my life, I need to focus on this stage. Each day something has to take priority. You cannot allow things to overlap in your life. So if you're supposed to be spending the quality time with your family, why do you have your cell phone in your hand?
We're going to leave that right there and talk about ways that mentoring and pouring in and into other people that you receive. Are there any other ways you want to share about how you are now mentoring or pouring into others?
I'm I'm more relaxed now, and I'm more attentive by listening,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm actually walking in my spiritual gifts now.
Mm-hmm.
And what my spiritual gift was 7 years ago is bottom at the bottom now.
Right.
And I had to learn that by taking the test. And but I have to be cautious with what my spiritual gift is because not everyone is receptive of that gift. And I've learned that over the years I have been walking in that and I have seen what it does and how it has impacted people, and some of those same people that I have, let's say, walking in my gift, have used my gift. I have used my gifts towards them, and it is not a easy thing to say. Some of the things that God has me to say, it will be the most hardest things you want to hear. It's
Mm-hmm.
like those big pills that you don't want to swallow.
Oh, yeah.
And God has set me up where I am saying the hard things to people. And it takes a lot out of me and it makes me so drained. And that I beat myself. I'm like, God, did you really want me to say that to them? Did you really want me to say that? Did I really do what was pleasing to you? Or did I do it just to please man? Or am I doing anything right? And it makes me feel insecure within myself because I
Mm-hmm.
felt and I feel like I may not have heard exactly what God said, but did I make sure I did what He asked of me to do of myself?
These things that you're talking about don't come easily. They only come with quality time spent with God. And I don't want anybody to miss the depth of what that is that you started this whole conversation with today. There's a depth that comes with time spent with God. And when you spending more and more time specifically with God, not necessarily with tasks that you are doing, then you don't have as much time as you once did to be the people pleaser because you're busy trying to hear from God and quiet the voices that distract you from God. So yeah, there I said it. So let's go ahead and talk about maybe one word or phrase that you want to give me that describes the impact of this ministry. What would that be and why? One word or phrase.
Alignment.
Woo! Talk about it.
Alignment has all different shapes and forms. When you have an automobile and you have the tires, and if it's while it's in alignment, it goes down the straight road, right? If it's out of alignment, it either goes to the left or the right, correct?
That's fact.
So if I'm aligning myself in God's will, I have to align myself with people that are doing the same thing. Because if I align myself with darkness, then I'm going on the wrong path.
Mm,
It's just like you can compare alignment with the 10 virgins. You had five that was aligned with God's will. They had enough oil in their lamps to prepare extra oil because not everything is going to be on time. Sometimes God is going to be delayed. Jesus Christ may be delayed, but delayed does not mean denied.
that's right.
Then you got the other five that was out of alignment. They
Mm-hmm.
asked for a handout.
Mm-hmm.
When you're aligned in God's will and He gives you the ministry to ministry people, the ministry mentors, the ministry coaches, when you align yourself with people that are searching for the similar or same things, or they basically, God aligns you with the people that He wants you to be aligned with, and He removes and prunes you from those that He does not want you with. So the five foolish virgins, they thought they had enough oil, but they wanted that handout because when they woke up, they was outside when they knew that they missed their opportunity. Because you got people in your life when they see you doing good and they see that you got that extra oil and it's flowing through you, and Jesus come and He's placed something on your life, and but because some people are foolish, they got to go out to the store and buy that extra oil. Well, that extra oil has a cost,
Mm,
and that cost is called unobedience. Not being obedient to God's will, not being in alignment with what He said for you to do. If He knew who you were, He formed you, and He knew who you were when He formed you in your mother's womb. Hey, it was a dark night that He formed you, but He made sure you were in alignment and that you have choices to make. Those foolish virgins, they had a choice. They were out of alignment, and they stood outside the door knocking, yelling, saying, "Open the door, open the door." And you know what He said? He said, "Who you? I don't know who you are. You should have had your oil. You should have brought your extra oil with you. You should have been prepared. You should be in place because I aligned you in the word. I gave you a spiritual insight. I gave you spiritual awareness. I gave you the tools to use to walk through life, but it's up to you. Your free will makes consequences, and you made a choice to get yourself out of alignment. So this is what the consequence is.
amen.
That
Amen.
door is locked.
Mm, the idea that God will lock a door.
Mhm.
That's the truth. And it
Mhm.
is in the Bible. Let's keep it moving, because I feel your preacher stuff coming out. And it's all good because I can sit right here and listen to this stuff. But I want to share also a milestone moment for me that spans more than 2 years of becoming an influencer with digital discipleship and escorting my chief administrative officer through her Doctor of Ministry programs. I mean, all I can say is congratulations, Chief, because you were there saying, I'm not going to, I'm going to sit out a session. I'm going to, no, you're not. Because if you quit, you're not going back. So, oh, no, you're not. And God allowed me an opportunity to escort you through that. But some folks don't even realize that Favored by the Father Ministries has a digital application. When you go in your app store, Play Store, if it's Android or iOS, and you tap into Favored by the Father Ministries and upload that thing and get the daily devotionals and the different things that we have there, preaching and all kinds of stuff that we have there. The whole Bible is in there. It's a lot of stuff in there. That was the brainchild of Kimberly Holmes. Yeah, I didn't somehow decide, well, I want to do an app. No, she said, and I'm like, no, I don't think so. And
Yeah.
she said, so tell your side of that in the Cliff Notes version of how the app got started.
The clip note version is God had told me about what needs to be done and everything. And I was like, God, I don't have time to do that. I mean, I wrestled with God and I basically was like, I don't, this, you gave me these ideas. What am I supposed to do with it? So he specifically told me go to Doc Coach. And I spent it on her, and I was like, "Look, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this." And she was like, "Uh," I was like, "Doc, you can do podcasts, you can do, but first you got to build an app. You got to have this, you got to that." Da, da, da." She's looking at me like, "Where did this come from?" And I was like, "But the goal of it is fivefold ministry." She was like, "Huh?" I was like, "Fivefold ministry." God clearly said fivefold ministry. She was like, "Okay." Next thing I know, Doc is like, let me pray over it, and then let me get back with you. Every morning when I wake up, after I say my prayer, this is the first thing I do. I click on my app. I know what the devotional is for the day. I got prayers. I got resources. I got guides. I got it all. And I can share it to my coworkers and say, hey, go to the app. This is da da da. And they're like, really? Yeah. And they can understand it. You don't have to have just the King James version. You can have the Message Bible. You got the New Living Translation. You got the English Standard Version. You got, hey, you got this generations that's in the 20s. My son said, Mom, I learned how to curse biblically.
Oh Lord. Oh
I
Lord.
said, I said, oh no, 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 no. I said, no, no, no. He said, yeah, Mom. No, no, it's not that time.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're understanding why Kimberly Holmes is my chief. I was writing daily devotional and sending out text messages, and those numbers escalated to maybe 80 a day,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
more than 80 a day. And she said, Doc, Coach, you know, you could do that with the app.
Mm-hmm.
And one morning I sat there and I was pushing those things out, and it was like, okay, she said that I could, okay, just tell her you're going to need her to help you. And we set everything up. I set everything up, found whatever I found, and added her to this thing that I found. And this is what we do now. She doesn't talk about it, but I wanted you to know that there are a whole lot of things that my chief does for Favored by the Father Ministries that a whole lot of folks don't know about. So I had to impress upon her today. We're going to talk about what you do in connection with this ministry today in order to help us celebrate this month. And so we're spent a lot of time here talking about a lot of things, but we're coming up to a conclusion here and talking about future generations. And then we're going to be talking about that retreat that you brought up earlier. So talk to us about how because you already put a little spill out there when you talked about Noah, how the ministry is impacting future generations.
how the ministry is impacting future generations. Uh, if you don't have it, and Doc don't know I'm about to say this, if you don't have it, so you got points to ponder one and you have points to ponder two. And basically, it is the devotionals that's in the app, but some people are still not up on supporting people when it comes to apps. And but you have an opportunity. If you don't want to support by the app, you can purchase the book. You can be anonymous by purchasing the book. And you when you purchase one, you're eventually going to purchase the second one. And you can do this in the privacy of your own home. This is what the future is. It is everyone when I joke and say Ebonics Bible, I keep saying eventually I will do an Ebonics Bible. Well, this is not an Ebonics Bible, but this is a journal, opportunity for you to journal and have a conversation. That is the future. Learning to have a conversation and build a relationship and not religion with God.
Ah, relationship, not religion. Church
Yes.
without walls,
Yes.
relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So getting outside of the walls of the church, the leaders need feeding sometimes. And I do a lot of feeding of a whole lot of leaders. So tell us about your favorite memories from the retreat, the podcast, prayer calls, gatherings, whatever, whatever, whatever. Open floor, open mic. I will not cut you off. Go in whatever direction
Ooh.
you want. Favorite memory or memories?
Ooh. Oh. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying this because this is a retreat, spiritual retreat that Doc Coach and I are doing. But I will say this. You will be missing a moment if you do not take the chance for 24 spend 24 hours with God. It starts on a Thursday afternoon. And that means you are in a location, you are within God's presence. You don't have television, no TV. You have the nature, you got the camp, you have authentic worship, you have the music flowing, you just have the presence. And you have people when you walk in, you know what goes on here stays here. So you're surrounded by other preachers, you're surrounded by other pastors, you're surrounded by other believers. But I'm going to change it more from believers to followers because that is the correct way. So many people say, are you a believer or a believer? Anybody can believe. Sorry, had to say that to you. Follower. If you're a follower of Jesus, meet us in Williamsburg, November, to experience a authentic worship experience. You free flow in the spirit. It's like flow in the spirit. Flow to me like a river flowing, flow through me. And you can feel his actual presence because Jesus Christ is going to be the keynote speaker. He's not going to be man. Jesus Christ is going to be speaking through each and every individual there. And you'll be able to feel it. The most impactful, powerful moment for me is when God had me prophesy over some females and over some members inside that building. And I didn't know what it was naturally flowing. And for for those individuals to come back to me and tell me was like, wow, did you know that? Did somebody tell you that? I'm like, the only person told me was God. What did I say? I'm wondering what I said, and they have to repeat back to me exactly what I said to them because I'm flowing in the Spirit of God. That retreat, it changed so many lives, and people are still talking about it. People are still asking questions about it. Just join us. It's not for no show. It's
No,
not for accolades. It's for actually being authentic and being in God's presence. If you really want to be in His presence, get away from everything and go into seclusion. He went into the he went into seclusion.
who did that?
So why don't we? He went away from everything just to be in the presence of his father, Abba.
Mm. Whew, my God. Be still and know
No.
that I am God. And that's the overarching theme of the spiritual retreat that we have in the fall. We have an early bird special that ends the end of July. However, we receive registrations through Eventbrite all the way up until maybe 2 weeks before, because we got to make sure we count the heads and get the food ordered. And so we
Mhm,
can't just have extended time like that. I like everything to be decently prepared, because
mhm.
God wants everything to be decent for you when you arrive. So get your registration in before November the 1st, and we will be more than happy to just share in those moments with you. Is there anything else, Reverend Dr. Kimberly Holmes, that you want to share as we conclude this anniversary segment?
As we conclude this anniversary segment, I want to say this: believe in yourself when nobody else believes in you. Get yourself accountability partner, a coach, a mentor. Because me, I can tell you, me, I didn't have the confidence of what was already placed in my life. God has formed me, had formed and ordained in me, predestined my life to become a reverend doctor. By he showed me my grandmother as a civil rights activist, NAACP, cotton picker. I have my great grandmother, physician, assistant, healthcare, ministry, church, my grandmother, grandparents, everything that they've done for. Everything lines up. So my past represented my future.
Wow,
Sometimes you got to take a look at your past to understand your future. And that's what I leave you with.
wow. And so this indeed is a legacy in motion, because it doesn't end.
Hmm.
We serve so that we can serve others for Christ. We're not serving for self, we're serving for the Lord.
Yeah.
We are rooted in the Word. We are reaching out to anyone who wants to reach back, but we're not begging anybody to do anything.
Mm-mm.
We are a church without walls, rooted and reaching and creating stories in people, legacies in motion, because we believe in having faith in action. Oh, this is good stuff right here. We could talk all day. Just give me a phone call on your way home and we'll do some more talking.
I got you.
We're not through yet. You and me, we ain't through. We ain't
Uh,
through yet. And so we just want to thank you so much for your time spent today. And reach out, get our ministry resources. And Kim's got quite a few things under her belt that she's working on, and she didn't dare to share today, and that's okay. Those are her stories. She'll get those out in the air when the Lord tells her to. So I won't spill anything that the Lord hasn't told her to share. In the name of Jesus, I am grateful to God for telling me in prayer, after God told her to ask me, I went into prayer. And I said, Lord, I don't know this woman. Is this someone who, and he said, and I did. And here we are, a few years later, building God's kingdom together. And so we remain what?
Favor
Favored
by.
by the Father. Before we go, just a reminder, both this podcast and our digital app are offered to you free of charge. as a ministry of love and service. What is that you say? Didn't realize we had a digital app? Check out Favored by the Father Ministries in iOS or Android Play stores. If you feel led to support our work with a monthly offering, you can do so through Stripe, Givelify, or Cash App, all conveniently located in the app main menu. Your generosity helps us stay solvent and up to date, allowing us to continue reaching, teaching, preaching, and serving others with excellence. Thank you so much for helping us grow and for walking this journey with us. Grow in grace, God's special favor, and remain favored by the Father.